Barber here, back again for Season 2 of Tackle Primetime, powered by the National Collegiate Scouting Association. We're continuing to break down the Tackle top 200 football players in America by examining the big men up front, the defensive line. So once again, here's Coach Randy Taylor and Bob Chmiel to break down the talent and talk about the 5 things that every recruit needs to do. Coach and Coach, take it away.
Thank you, Lodi. There's an old saying in football that if you want to be successful, you had better be able to run the football offensively, and if you want to be successful, you had better be able to stop the run. How do you stop the run? With some rock'em, sock'em, swashbuckling defensive linemen that are at a premium.
There is another saying that a key to protecting a fourth quarter lead is a good pass rush. So I want to start off our list of the top defensive linemen in the country with defensive end Devon, Kenard, who can really get up the field, Coach. Desert Vista High School, Phoenix, Arizona. Now, Devon got hurt and isn't playing his senior year, but there's no reason to penalize him for that. He is a talented young man.
Not at all. The fact he didn't play his senior year. Now, I can't say that about every player that I would recruit. In his case, forget about it. This guy can play.
6'3", 257. You know, those dimensions and everything kind of reminds me of Freeney, which is saying a lot, and I hate to do that, but this kid has great ability to explode off the line of scrimmage. He gets upfield, is very disruptive, and I love the way he attacks the ball with an attitude. He just loves to play the game, has a great motor, uses his hands well.
Well, as you know, Randy, great pass rushers are relentless. It's very difficult to pass rush through an entire football game against these spread offenses because you are totally on the go. You're a big guy that's just running and running. And the pursuit has to be relentless to make yourself one of those elite pass rushers.
This is a kid this is junior tape because he's been hurt as a senior, but you watch him as a junior and it just keeps getting better for this kid. You can't lower his score based on that injury. He's a tremendous player.
Well, in the old days, we'd call him a 10-footer. You watch 10 feet of film, and you know he's a guy that you want. Randy, number 2 on our list is Jaccobi McDaniel out of Madison High School in Greenville, Florida. Decided to play for Florida State University and the legendary Bobby Bowden. 6 feet, 267 pounds of rock'em sock'em football player, a guy who's so disruptive in the inside because of one reason. He's strong, actually 3 reasons. He's strong, he's quick, and he plays with great leverage.
I was just going to say leverage was the thing that stood out with me. His tremendous leverage. He gets upfield, and I like that he can redirect and chase, Coach.
One of the things that is really overlooked in pass rush is the fact that you get a push in the middle, and the quarterback has nowhere to go. He becomes flush. That's how those guys on the outside make the tackles. No push in the middle. Guys from the outside come up. Quarterback steps up, has throwing lanes, has division. You have to have this in college football. You have to have that push in the middle. And you know there's a term, Randy, and you know exactly what I mean. He is a want-to guy. In other words, he's going to fly around to the football on every single play. You can't emphasize pursuit enough when you're talking about defensive linemen.
Let's break down a few more of the top D linemen in America. Defensive tackle, Tyler Stockton from Hun School in Princeton, New Jersey. This young man's about 6'1", 290 pounds. He is an inside guy with a great push. He gets penetration. I like his swim move. He uses his hands pretty well. And what I like is he can hold the point. If you tell him he's got that gap, he's going to hold that gap. This kid's going to be a good inside guy for Notre Dame.
Well, you mentioned the fact that he draws a double team. That's critically important. At that position, you have to draw the double team, and you have to be disruptive. Coach Charlie Weiss of the Fighting Irish went home to the Garden State and yet again to the Hun School and came out with this young guy. Chris Davenport decided to stay at home and play for the LSU Tigers, and Coach Les Miles, my old office mate from the University of Michigan. Chris Davenport, Mansfield High School, Mansfield, Louisiana, 6 feet 4 inches tall, 318 pounds. Hello. And he can run, Randy. He can run. He's disruptive. He's got a great motor for a big young guy. I cannot believe the high upside this young guy has.
Yeah, he's a raw kid, but he's quick off the ball, and he can run. And when he learns to use leverage, he's going to be special. Right now he gets a little high, but the kid's really going to be a good player. Look at him get through the line of scrimmage. He's got the ability to change direction, but he's 318 pounds changing direction. All right, Coach, we're watching Jamarcus McFarland, Lufkin High School, Lufkin, Texas, 6'3", 280 pounds. The young man is really got good initial quickness off the ball, gets upfield and disrupts. He looks like a 3 technique to me.
There are a lot of things you can coach, but that first step, that quickness, that toughness, that speed, that's not coaching, my friend. That's a lot of natural ability, and not only a lot of natural ability, but the desire to use that ability to be a good football player. Head coach Butch Davis at North Carolina did a great job of keeping Dante Moss from Northside High School in Jacksonville, North Carolina, in state. He's going to play for the Tar Heels. He's a great take. There's so much great talent in North Carolina, Randy, as you well know. And Coach Davis, I'm sure, will do whatever he possibly can to attract the likes of this Dante Moss. He is 6 feet, 4 inches tall, 238 pounds. Randy, sometimes he lines up at tailback.
As always, we want to wrap up tonight's Tackle Primetime with some insider information for all of the potential recruits out there. Last week, we hit on the 5 things every recruit should know.
Know and now have. We're going to hit on the 5 things all recruits should have. Every athlete needs to have 5 things in the recruiting process. 5 things. What's number 1, Randy?
An athlete needs to have a realistic evaluation to understand what level they qualify for. What level can they play? Division I, 1AA, Division II. I know they're not called that anymore, but I'm still in the old school. So they can focus their time appropriately. You can talk to your coach, but we also recommend talking to an experienced third party.
Number 2, you must have a professional website to get college coaches to take a look at. In this age of the internet, you have to use the internet. You can't rely on sending off hundreds of paper resumes because your academics and athletic achievements, are constantly changing, hopefully for the positive.
3, college coaches depend on video to do the bulk of their initial evaluations. So recruits need to have a high-quality highlight video to get coaches' attention. It really helps when this video is spot shadowed and professionally edited. Remember, though, that coaches use a good highlight tape to get to watch game tape.
Absolutely. The highlight tape is the lead-in to the game tape. 4, athletes need to build relationships with college coaches. You have to build those relationships. These coaches want to know whether you can stand on your feet, whether you can communicate, whether you're the type of person they want to bring to campus. There are ways to do this. You know, through your high school coach, filling out questionnaires, fill out every questionnaire. The one questionnaire from a school that you may never heard of may be a great opportunity for a great education. Call schools, send emails, send out DVDs. However, the quickest and best way to make sure you are evaluated by a college coach is to make sure you are on the list of a trusted third party, like NCSA.
Finally, athletes need to make sure they have the expert knowledge necessary to guide them through this complicated process. Trust me, I've been down the recruiting road many times, and it can be really confusing. Athletes have only one chance to go through this process, so I implore them to make sure that they talk to enough people that they know what to do in this process.
Great, guys. That's a wrap on another episode of Tackle Primetime. Be sure to check in next episode as Coach Chmiel and Coach Taylor break down more of the nation's top athletes and talk about what it takes to get recruited.